So regression models are built for two reasons, right? One for prediction, and the second one is for inference. In prediction models, we're trying to predict the target variable or the dependent variable. While if the intention is for inference, finding out the relationship between predictors or independent variables with a dependent variable, you come across what is known as statistical test, right? Or significant test rather, right? Significance test. So here is an example of the output from a regression model, where we are concerned about to find out which one of these independent variables are significant in the model. So how do we get to know that? We look at the t statistics. So this is the t statistics we have with us, and we look at the value and we see if the t statistics is greater than, let's say 2.7 or not. We also look at the corresponding p statistics, which is similar to what t statistics is, and anything less than 0.05 we take that as significant at 95% confidence, right? Now if the intention is inference, then the assumption of normality is important to us. For estimation purpose, in order to estimate linear regression, you do not need normality. How does a normal distribution look like? So here is typical examples of normal distributions with the different means and standard deviation. So we do not care what exactly is the value of the mean and standard deviation. All we care about is that the distribution should be bell-shaped. It should not be skewed like this or skewed like this. Okay, so it should well be distributed normally to be able to and for it to give a proper results in the hypothesis test. So what do you do when there is a deviation? So firstly, you need to first test whether your data is normally distributed or not. So one other way to do is to visualize it. Okay, just visualize it, but there are better ways, statistical ways to do it. Okay, you can also plot what is known as a QQ plot, quantile plot, or PP plot. These two probability plot. So these plots can be used to find out whether data is normally distributed or not. So here is a typical case where this data point should exactly lie on the 45-degree line. Any deviation, like there are few here, right? Deviations, then it's a sign of non-normality. Now this is a typical case of good normality case. Now in a non-normal case, your data will be distributed something like this. Okay, now you can also do statistical tests like Anderson-Darling test and then Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, okay, to find out whether data is normally distributed or not. If it is not normally distributed, there could be a number of reasons. Okay, so without knowing the reasons why the data is not normally distributed, you should not go ahead with any sort of remediation. Well, there are many possible reasons for your data to be not normally distributed. Okay, so there could be reasons like you have extreme values or outliers in your data. If that is the case, then you will have problem. Let's say you expect the income of a particular city to be normally distributed, but there are some people who are of high net worth individuals. Okay, their income is very high. So when you plot them, they lie completely different from the entire population because they are outlier, extreme values. In that case, you will have this problem. Then sometimes you have a distribution of data which is a combination of two or more distributions. So you have bimodal and multimodal distribution of data. So here is a typical case. You have this particular distribution, and you can see this is not clearly not normally distributed, right? But this is just a combination of two normal distributions. So this is one normal distribution, this is the one, and this is the other one. Okay, and there is an overlap here. Okay, so given that there is an overlap, you see that it looks not normally distributed, but they are actually normally distributed because there are two events or two processes which should ideally be separated rather than just be kept in just one data. So that could be another reason. insufficient data. In order for data to be normal distributed, you should have sufficient numbers, and there is no thumb rule as such that what exactly should be a sufficient number, but ideally it should be more than 30 more than 30-50 observations. Okay, and the more you have, the more data you have, the more likely it to follow its actual distribution. So always good to have more data. Then it could be a case of that the data is just a subset of the main sample. You haven't taken the entire data. Okay, so if that is the case, you have just left out a particular group in your data set, or you have just left out there is some sampling issue. Okay, sampling error. Okay, if you are taking, let's say, survey data, and you have missed out on a particular region where you haven't done the survey, which is of particular very important for your survey, but you have missed out on that, then your sample may not show the actual distribution. It could deviate from normality. Many regions, not necessarily in surveyed data, it could well be there in other types of data where you have knowingly or unknowingly missed out on a particular a subset of the data. In that case, it could also be a problem. Then your data could follow some other distribution. I mean, there is no reason why every data would follow a normal distribution. Okay? It could be beta distribution, exponential, gamma, inverse gamma, log normal, logistic distribution, Maxwell-Boltzmann, Poisson, skewed, symmetric, uniform, and there are many more. Okay, I've just listed out few important ones. So this is a typical case of a Poisson distribution. Okay, and so whenever you have, let's say, data for count data, a data that takes the count of something, let's say number of accidents. Okay, that's a count, right? Number of accidents. So that's a count. So that is most likely to follow Poisson distribution instead of a normal distribution. Or number of deaths because of cancer, that could also be the case. Okay, so this is a typical case of your data which is different from normal distribution, and it actually follow a different theoretical distribution. In that case, you need not worry, because instead of a linear regression that assumes normality, you should go in for a Poisson regression. Then this is a typical case of Weibull distribution, which is survival time, like how long a patient survive after operations. So that kind of a data will follow this type of distributions. So you also need to look at which distribution your data fits in. So you need to try all kinds of distribution to your data and fit appropriate regression for that. What are the remediation? How do you remediate in case you think that none of the other distributions are appropriate for your data, and the data is near normal? That means it looks normal, but it's not normal, so to say. So remediation could be like remove outliers, get rid of all the outliers in your data based on some criteria. You could take transformation. You could take logarithmic transformation. You can take square of your data points. You could take square root. So you take such transformation and see if there is change in the distribution of your data, whether it's it's closer to the normality. The third could be if a data fits any other distribution, then go ahead with that. And secondly, if you fail to have a linear regression with normality assumption, instead of, because there is not going to be a problem in estimation, you can well estimate your parameters even without a normality assumption. However, you cannot explain some of the test statistics like t-test, okay, significance test. So instead of the parametric test, because t-test is a parametric test, a test which doesn't assume any theoretical distribution is a non-parametric test. So you can go ahead with non-parametric test in that case. So here are the non-parametric tests that you can use. So in normality case, you are using t-test, right? So in case it is not normal and still you have gone ahead with a linear regression, instead of t-test, just find out the Mann-Whitney test. or the Moore's median test, or the Kursal-Wallis test. Okay, for exactly the same purpose what the t-test serves. For ANOVA, you can go to Moore's median test, Kursal-Wallis test. For pair t-test, you can go for one certain sign test. For f-test, you can go for Leibniz test. Okay. So these are some of the non-normal or non-parametric, where you do not have an assumption of any distribution